Welcome to another episode of my podcast that's been with me. Today we're going to be talking about Makeup Geek. Relatively, I guess, interesting topic for 2026 because we have an official comeback of makeup, a lot of creative makeup vlogs. Though, I see a lot of different makeup artists that are creating amazing artworks through TikTok or any other platforms. And I'm going to be honest, they've been doing this for a long period of time. So it's not basically a comeback for them or me in general. But this is kind of in a way to awaken the audience and say that try to be creative. I would say it might be the reason why a lot of the companies they're shifting from one area when they're focusing on foundation and skincare, and then now they're again focusing on some palettes. And it's really interesting because some of the relatively, I'd say, famous brands, they're coming back in 2026, and I'm kind of excited, but I don't really know. Just let me know in the comments what do you think about the story. Okay, we're gonna get started with Marlene Steele, and she is still Marlene Steele, I guess. Steele. I'm sorry, guys. I just might mispronounce some of the names. I was too, I guess, young to watch her videos. I was not into makeup. She started in 2008, and I was, I believe, 14 or 13 in 2008, and that is the main reason why I was not interested in makeup. Not yet. And she was doing a lot of different makeup vlogs. She was given a lot of insight tutorials, filming a lot of tutorials. That was the main reason why she was doing this out of her own heart, because no one was earning any commissions, no one's earning anything from YouTube. That wasn't a thing. She started in 2008 and she launched her first company. And first, it's kind of crucial because now this is her probably third, maybe fourth company in the way. Not even company, but like we're going to dive into this deeper a little bit later. But she started her new project in 2011, in November of 2011, that was called Makeup Geek, because she was interested in makeup and she thought that industry was lacking some single eyeshadows. That was the main reason why she came up with this brilliant idea that you can actually buy a single eyeshadow instead of a bundle or some palette, and then you can probably stick them to a magnetic board, and then it's gonna give you the most beautiful range of colors that you actually use. You don't really have to buy a palette that you're not gonna be probably using in the future. You can actually focus on some shades that you prefer the most. And she was given this opportunity. The best thing about Makeup Geek that it was very affordable, and they concentrated on affordability. First and foremost, they had a business idea that was pretty innovative because she was partially an influencer, and then partially she had become the founder of this company. She realized that influencer market is growing, and that is the main reason why a lot of the times the audience is going to follow certain recommendations of their favorite influencer, especially when it had become a thing on YouTube in 2011, 2012. I started my journey, I guess, makeup journey in 2011, and the first ever video makeup tutorial that I watched, I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest, that was my 16th birthday, and I found a video that was some weird, like really low quality gray eyeshadow makeup look. And then later on, I was watching, oh, I guess it was 2010. Yeah, it was 2010. And then in 2011, I started watching Carly Bible, and that was the first ever, I guess, video that I was like super interested and invested in this type of content. That was the main reason why it was quite important for me to know the basics. Marlene Steele, she was given this opportunity to a lot of us with small tips and tricks how to do makeup. That was the main reason why I was like, okay, so now I'm into that. And MAC was huge in 2011. That was the main reason why I guess I didn't really pay attention to Makeup Geek, and I was focusing my attention basically on MAC Cosmetics, though I could not afford MAC. It was really expensive, though it was professional makeup, and that was the main reason why I was like buying some other palettes. Do you remember like small eyeshadows and huge palettes? That was crazy in my opinion, but I really loved that because this was the funniest part. You could get like 20 shades that were relatively close, like yellow colors, but when you put them on, they're the same. So that was the issue. And probably this idea that you can buy a single eyeshadow was brilliant. Though when I started watching Carly Bible and Nikki tutorials, they were not talking about Makeup Geek. That was the main reason why I guess it just like kind of missed the spot for me, and I learned about Makeup Geek later. That was the main reason why I was like, okay, so let me see what they have in store. And I guess the first time I heard about Makeup Geek was only in 2018 or maybe 2019 when this whole drama started. And you remember that back in the day, it was drama on top of drama and on top of drama, and a sip of tea still was there. That was the main reason why I was like, okay, so who is Marlene Steele and what is happening? That was the thing about Marlena, because she, as I can probably judge from others, like other influencers and other business partners that she worked with, she's a person of honor and of her word. And that was the main reason why a lot of the times she had to, in a way, suffer from her own actions because she was trustworthy. And the worst part is people that are trustworthy, people that are very reliable, most of the time they take kind of like in a weird way penalty for those who are not trustworthy and they're not authentic in a way. Makeup Geek was huge in 2011 and especially it hit off in 2012. Well, she was doing the business through her own website, and a lot of the times it actually was enough for them to pay some affiliates to other influencers. And as she claims, and any other influencers, that she was one of those like first companies that started paying affiliate links, not even paying, but like paying commission for promotion. And when any other influencer would leave a link, the affiliate link, then they can get any type of commission. It can be absolutely different rate for any other influencers, and this way they would earn. So they had money for in some ways logistics, they had money for social media, then they were doing some PR, and she was promoting her products on her channel. That was a very successful launch, and especially no one had a really nice quality makeup back in the day, especially in 2011 or 2012. Still, makeup products were pretty much shitty, and you did really have to pay a crazy amount of money to get more or less professional makeup in order for you to have a nice quality product. That was the main reason why it was very popular. And later on, when they kind of realized that they could pay certain commission to Target, they actually launched Target, and it was a huge success, and they were sold out in a crazy amount of time. Like in a couple of hours, they were entirely like sold out. And this I guess led to a very interesting friendship with Jaclyn Hill. For a couple of years they were really nice and close friends, but with Jaclyn, unfortunately, you have to understand there's business and there's like friendship. I don't really think Jaclyn Hill has real friends in the industry, if we're talking about the industry, or she would probably neglect people that are true to their words. And that's something that happened to Marlene Still when she said that they were about to collaborate, and Marlena actually didn't have any contract because she considered Jaclyn to be her best friend or something like really, really close to that. And she believed in women's empowerment. She believed in very cool like concept that women should help each other. But unfortunately, I guess this concept didn't apply to Jaclyn because she had a better offer, or like a better proposal from Becca Cosmetics, if I'm mistaken, with the highlights. And that was the main reason why she was postponing and delaying the collaboration launch with Makeup Geek. The problem was that Marlena, she actually had to buy a lot of products, and she, if I'm not mistaken, had Makeup Geek products in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill worth of $1 million. And she ordered a lot of stuff because she knew that with Jaclyn, she could probably sell a lot of units and a lot of items, I would say, in the future. But because of the, I guess, trustworthy situation, she didn't have any contract, which I would say, of course, you would, probably consider this a stupid move because, like, you're in business. This is not your actual friend. This is not even your relative. You can't even trust your relatives when you have business with them. And having no contract is probably weird. But it shows a lot that this person had a lot of faith in people. And I do really think it's worth something, at least something, that there's still people in the industry that can keep to their words. And that is just priceless. But not for Jaclyn. As Marlena mentioned later in her, later videos in 2019 or 2020, she said that Makeup Geek never recovered from this loss because the shelf life of the product was expiring and it was going bad. That was the main reason why she was trying to push Jaclyn into this collaboration. And because of these delays, she couldn't sell the product that wasn't fresh enough for consumers to use it. Because most of the time when you launch a product, you have a date of when this was produced and manufactured, and the other date is when you open the product. You can keep it up to 6 month, or probably, I don't know, 12 month. And that is the difference, because you can't make something and sell something when the expiration date is going to be sooner than the time when a person buys the palettes. This is the main reason why most of the times certain palettes, they're a discount, because you can't keep them longer, because the expiration date is going to be sooner than you expect. It's like 6 month expiration date is nothing if it's shown that you can keep it up to 12 month when you open the product. It's just not working this way. And that was the main reason why, of course, she lost $1 million. And I mean, back in 2018 or 2017, that was a lot of money for a company, and especially self-funded company or influencer company. And it's still a lot of money, but we were talking about $1 million worth of company money, not personal money. if it makes any sense. So, of course, like $1 million is a lot, but when it's an investment in a company, when you're going to sell and probably gain 5 or 6 or $10 million on top of that, invest some money of this into some new products, that's kind of like a little bit different kind of story. That's just a little bit different expenses. And of course, Makeup Geek, they were I guess, makeup up until 2019 when they got their first struggles, and especially pandemic. They did a rebranding in 2020, but we didn't know what the future was holding for us because pandemic was a situation when a lot of makeup companies, they went bankrupt because people didn't really need makeup when they were staying home. They just to prioritize their skin treatment. And that was the main reason, I would say, why a lot of the times companies that actually had some sort of failure in terms of like when she couldn't sell $1 million product unit, then she had another hit when they had a huge problem with pandemic and people were not interested in makeup. And I would say that up until I guess 2026, right now, people were not basically interested in a lot of makeup, quite minimum makeup, a lot of skincare, a lot of this clean girl aesthetics, a lot of chick products, skin products, and foundations, probably some highlighters, but not enough palettes. And I would say that Makeup Geek was always about palettes. Even if it was about single eyeshadows, still that was their priority. And I really liked the combination of colors that they offered, the way they could save on production, because first and foremost, they didn't do it through retails. They didn't use Sephora. They didn't use Ulta because you have to pay a lot of money. Most of the time, like 50% of your income is going into Sephora or Ulta because in some way or another, you're kind of like paying them for their rent. You're paying for their workforce and so on and so forth. That is the main reason you kind of like renting their shelves. And while you're doing this, you're paying them a lot of money. That was the main reason why she could reduce cost and it was more or less affordable. When the other companies that were paying or getting at least $12 or $15 per single eyeshadow, then in Makeup Geek perspective, they could easily afford a $6 eyeshadow price because they didn't have a lot of the times a middleman. Okay, so what happened later? What happened next? The real reason why Makeup Geek actually failed in the way, it was a couple of years ago, I guess probably like 3 years ago, when they filed for not only bankruptcy, but they just kind of like shut down their business. And she filmed another video when she was talking about some crazy amount of money they had to pay influencers, and it was controversial. She was talking about the fact that she was an influencer, and she is technically an influencer, and that is the main reason why she understood the policy that a lot of the times influencers, they lived off the commission. But at the same time, she could relate to the fact that a lot of founders and a lot of business owners, they were shocked by the price range of certain influencers, and they said that in 2019, if I'm mistaken, some of them asked for $60,000 per one video to mention them in the video or to create like a sponsored video. The reason why I think it's crazy is, well, first and foremost, yeah, it's pretty crazy to get $60,000 per video. But in my opinion, they were not focusing on micro influencers. This is the reason why they probably couldn't afford, they were aiming for some very big and famous influencers, like for example, Jaclyn Hill or maybe James Charles even, and Naked Tutorials. I don't know who they were referring to. But at the same time, this is just my personal take on the situation that sometimes it's the problem of your marketing. You can handle most of the time things without influencers. You have to know where to start. And instead of paying $60,000 to an influencer per one video, you should probably focus on PR team that's going to be doing a lot of work behind the scene. Maybe they're going to pay TikTok. And TikTok wasn't a thing, I guess, in 2019. That was the main problem, that it hit off only in 2020 when the pandemic started. And that was the main reason like TikTok shop wasn't a thing back in the day still. I mean, like a lot of the times, some companies, they survived because of a TikTok shop. And yeah, that is a very useful tool. But I can't relate to that because still you just have to come up with some interesting ideas, and this is not my job to tell you how to do that. But yeah, there are a lot of the time some other options to do business without influencers. But I guess influence, they did actually get a lot of sales, and that was the main reason why she was actually going in this direction. She labeled her company as an affordable brand. And in 2026, Marlena, she came out with a new idea. But before that, a couple of years ago, I guess probably 2 years ago in 2023, she had a kind of different type of idea. She created a course, and courses were really popular again through TikTok because she added a lot of different videos and a lot of techniques and some sessions with her, 101 sessions. And the prices were crazy, from $300 to $3,000. And some people, they pointed out that it looked like an MLM company, multi-level marketing company. They had this weird affiliate link in the way where if you get a person who sells a product and the other person sells a product, then you're going to get a commission of 3%. It's kind of like, it's not enough for you to be a free, I guess, person, not working and being like self-employed, whatever. But then Jen Love, who is, if I'm mistaken, a great friend of Marlena Steele, she pointed this out to her and they took this off their website and they actually changed a lot of things. But still $3,000 for a course? Are you freaking kidding me? That's a lot. That is a lot. And I don't know what really happened to this idea, but I guess she's not selling this anymore. And she has her channel. I mean, like, YouTube channel. Why would I buy a course? And the worst part of it is that you got only a certificate that didn't actually give you any job opportunities. You couldn't mention that you had a certificate from Marlena Steele. It was more like, you get a certificate that you completed the course, but what is the point in that? You just can't do anything with the certificate. And now fast forward in 2026, she has launched her new brand. So at first, if I'm mistaken, in 2025 or 2024, she came up with this idea, like fragrances, that was called Marste. It's, I guess, the Marlena Steele, and it's Marste. And I don't know how to pronounce it, Marste, whatever. But when I checked their website, it is not affordable anymore. But I think with Makeup Geek problem or Marlena problem is that they were ahead of time in 2011 or 2012, but right now it's just a financial decision after a financial decision that is a little bit outdated. And hear me out what I think about that. Though I do believe that makeup is back and probably a lot of people, they're finding their joy in creating some new creative looks. I still think that the way they kind of presented this makeup brand is a little bit different, because they stopped doing single eyeshadows, which is probably good sometimes, because when you buy, and some influencer pointed this out, when you buy a product that's going to serve you for a long period of time, the chance that you're going to come back to their website and purchase something else in a short period of time is small. That is the main reason why the concept is not stable enough for the customers to come back. And what you need for your company to survive is a constant purchase, or at least like more or less stable purchase. That is the main reason why I would say it's really important to understand that what they're doing right now is still kind of like weird, like quiet luxury or just luxury. This is a new theme of their eyeshadows. It's cool. It's kind of cool. The only problem that I have with that is it's kind of like fading away. A lot of the times, like, people, they're still complaining about economy, and I complain about economy. I think it's crazy. The prices are crazy. That is the main reason why, you just have to buy groceries sometimes. You don't really have $70, or let me just tell you guys how much they ask for national palette. So the Le Minimalist palette is $68. L'Essence, I'm not a French person, okay? So the palette is $68, and Le Mirage is $72. I mean, it's pretty much expensive. I understand the fact that they're focusing on luxury products right now, but not in this economy. Like, still, the economy is shitty. That is the main reason why. I mean, it could have worked maybe post-pandemic 2022 or 2023, when people got through this painful time, got back a little bit on their feet, and they could afford it, because still, a lot of the times when Michaela is selling something, it's a sellout. But I mean, in 2026 or even late 2025, people were complaining, and they were talking about some out of touch influencers that are spending a lot of money on stupid things, or like makeup being super duper expensive. Though I can tell for sure one very important thing is that they are manufacturing in the United States this product, and the cost is going to be very expensive, because you're manufacturing in China or even in Italy. It's quite expensive in Italy, but United States is still very, very expensive. I don't know, it's sold out. I actually checked their website, it's sold out, but the colors, again, they're super simple. I know they're actually reflecting this quiet luxury, and when you check out Louis Vuitton website or Chanel website, these are the basic eyeshadows that you can get from any other luxury brand. The problem is that you know that Chanel and Louis Vuitton, they are luxury. This is a luxury brand. And when we're talking about Marlena style, I mean, when you call this luxury, we don't really know if it's actually luxury. You can name something and think that everyone would think this way. So it's just like you have to justify the price point. And she did. I mean, the quality, ingredients, and everything is great, but like I don't really know how relatable this is in modern economy situation. Let me phrase it this way. And of course, this is the main idea that it's cool that a lot of these companies they're doing a comeback in 2026. But how successful is it going to be? Is it going to be very successful? And I know like a lot of people right now they are actually complaining about the price points. But I don't know. They're still buying. It's still sold out. We'll see. We'll actually see. Oh, and another really cool thing that I want to point out, the entire website is actually done in this quite luxury thing. The only question that I have is like, why is it in French? It's manufactured and produced in the United States. The owner is American, if I'm correct. And why is it like French name? Why did they start this kind of thing? It has nothing related to France at all. Is it just the way that a lot of times people think that if it's from France, then it's bougie? It's not from France. As far as I can tell. That is the main reason why that was weird. And most of the time, I just don't know really how to pronounce it and how to read it. And a lot of influencers, they don't know how to pronounce and read it as well. That is the main reason why it was a little bit odd, but I don't really think it's bad. I think it's a unique and interesting opportunity. It's a unique and interesting, I guess, way to do business. But we'll see. Is it going to be successful in 2026? I love you all so much. I'm super happy to be back in 2026 with my podcast because I actually uploaded 2 of my podcasts, but I recorded them before New Year, and now I'm officially back. While I was relaxing, I just didn't really want to leave you without any content, and that is the main reason why I just like pre-recorded, and I'm sharing this right now. I love you all so much. Let me know in the comments what do you think. And by the way, one more really important thing to mention is that I have a mail that's fine with me podcast gmail.com where you can share your thoughts and opinion anonymously, and I will do this on my channel. Until next time, bye bye.